Okay, hello and welcome, and we are into week 1 of these weekly shows. So it's primetime wrestling. I just decided to use that. That was the the show that was around before Raw on a Monday night. So this is, oh god, I have to really explain this. So I decided I love a good tournament. So this is pretty much a direct copy of the G1 Climax from New Japan. And there'll be 10 wrestlers in each group. And the Honky Tonk Man has already qualified in Group A as the Intercontinental Champion. And Ric Flair is qualified into Group B as the World Champion. So these two are trying to qualify here to get into Group B. And Michael Hayes just stole a victory. Had a handful of tights there. And stole the win from the Junkyard Dog. So poor Junkyard Dog hasn't had a very good 2 days. Lost in the tag team championship match yesterday. He's lying down now for some reason. Michael Hayes books his ticket to Group B with Ric Flair. God, I had to fit all that in quickly. So we're on to match number 2 now. And now that it's a qualifier for Group A, so who will join the Honky Tonk Man? So there'll be, let's see, hang on, quick maths. 18 qualifying matches altogether. So this is going to happen over about 8 weeks. And we're only having 2 weeks on here. So Road Warrior Hawk getting a good few attacks here on Iron Sheik. These two really more tag team specialists. But the Iron Sheik was a world champion at one point.
Really?
Yeah.
When was it?
Oh god, it was back in the... Oh, it was a long time ago. I think it was still the WWF then, maybe? Yeah, up to a 9 count here. And the Iron Sheik wins by count out. So not a... It's Hawk furious.
Yeah, not what they expected.
Yeah. So, yeah, this one is a tag team tournament. I said I love tournaments. So, these are qualifying for the, I've just called it World Tag League, which is, now that I think about it, exactly the same as what New Japan calls their tag tournament, yeah. So, the Hart Foundation, these two are very historic, very legendary, successful tag team. Jim Neidhart sadly died recently. Doing a face buster there. Rick Rude and Mr. Perfect, also a tag team at one point. They were childhood friends, actually. Apparently,
really?
yeah.
Okay.
Grew up together in Minnesota. So, the tag team champions have already qualified. So the Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov. Iron Sheik in both tournaments, actually, now after qualifying for the other one. I think I called it World Wrestling League or World Wrestle League, something like that. But here we go. So Hart and Neidhart also doing the Doomsday Device. Not their finishing move. It's not the Heart Attack, the move that they usually do. So
They want to surprise all the people.
yeah. So that was actually quite an even match. It ended in 4 minutes and 3 seconds. I just realised I forgot to say the match times for the other ones. So quite a long match really there, in terms of this game. So yeah, they join the tag team champions in Group A, so that should be a good match.
Yeah.
The Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov against these two. That ended suddenly, Jesus. So we're on to match 4 now. And I forgot to mention this is 1 day after the previous video that we made. So Arn Anderson there, joined by Bobby Heenan and Stone Cold Steve Austin in the match. So this is a qualifier for Group A. So to join the Iron Sheik and the Honky Tonk Man so far. And I don't know if I've ever talked about chemistry with you, as in wrestlers having good chemistry together, so that they work really well together.
Yeah, you mentioned it briefly, but...
Sometimes you can have two great wrestlers who just don't have chemistry with each other. I never thought that in a game it would be possible for wrestlers to have... Like, I just thought everyone would have chemistry. But it doesn't always work out like that. These two, for some reason, this was such a fun match to... I was going to say play. I didn't play this.
No.
So Arn Anderson bleeding there.
Yeah.
Really,
oh,
he was bleeding for more than half of the match, I would say. Arn Anderson actually is one of my favourite wrestlers, I would say. And like Rick Rude, one of the best to never be world champion, if not the best. With Stone Cold Steve Austin here doing some spine busters. That's one of Arn Anderson's signature moves.
Okay, wow.
Bobby Heenan there somehow dragged them halfway across the ring or something and got Arn Anderson's foot on the rope to break up the pin.
Yeah.
But don't know whether it was blood loss or just exhaustion, but in the end Stone Cold Steve Austin got the win. So this one was a really long match. It took 5 minutes and 22 seconds.
Wow.
So longest match so far on this show. There were only 2 matches longer on yesterday's shows. Plural apparently. Stone Cold getting some cans of whoop ass there. Apparently he isn't actually fond of beer in real life.
Really? Okay. But it was still quite a big part of his character then.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So it's main event time on this first episode of Primetime Wrestling. And finally we have some time to actually talk a bit here, because God, I've really felt like I had to rush through all these matches quite a bit.
To mention everything important, yeah.
So, André the Giant coming out here after his big Battle Royal win in the previous show, in the WrestleMania show. He gets a championship opportunity here. Going for the World Championship against Ric Flair. So that's a big match for Ric Flair just after he beat Hulk Hogan yesterday to be the first champion. He's already defending it 1 day later against André. He's slowly making his way to the ring.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting how he looks on here.
Yeah.
'Cause his face and hair and that singlet thing that he's wearing, that's like how he was in the mid to late 80s. But his body did not look like that then.
I can imagine that maybe he wasn't as fit.
I think he looked more like
time.
that back in like the 70s. When he was a lot more agile.
But it's interesting how slow they made him walk as well.
Yeah.
That show that maybe he's not in the best condition.
I think that's just more like how he was. But I don't know. It's so weird. But here he comes, world champion Ric Flair. Something about the belt around his waist just looks right. I don't know how many times he was actually WWE champion. The only time that I can really think of is when he won the 1992 Royal Rumble. And that was for the World Championship.
Okay.
That time. Has been a couple of times. But Bobby the Brain Heenan out here again, even though he was just out before with Arn Anderson. In that losing effort. Out here now to support his other boy. Arn Anderson's tag team partner, actually, on this game. Ric Flair.
Okay.
For some reason, they don't have... Arn Anderson was a really good tag team wrestler. And they don't have any of his other partners on here. Like Tully Blanchard and Ole Anderson, his brother. But they have Ric Flair, and for some reason, just the 2 of them are called the 4 Horsemen on here. Because that was the group that they were part of. There were 4 of them.
Okay.
Yeah, Ric Flair gets the early advantage here. Nice swinging neck breaker there.
Yeah.
And Ric Flair he didn't really do that many high flying moves like that, so it's kind of strange to see. André did get some offense in, and he was Flair really targeting the legs there, and then André just battering his shoulders.
Yeah. They really have quite a size difference.
And then again.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know if André was... I mean, he was massive, André, obviously. But I don't know if he was that much bigger than Flair. They've really made the big people look much bigger. Although I think he probably could toss him like that. But Flair there with the brass knuckles. What a dirty boy. Breaking the rules. DQ is on. He could have been disqualified for that, but wasn't. Yeah, targeted the legs again. And in the end, Andre's foot is under the rope.
And his hand is through Andre's.
Well, that's just illegal, putting your hand through somebody. But yeah, Andre's leg was underneath the rope and the pin still went on, so... Sure, André won't be very happy about that. He might be coming back for a rematch at some point. Demanding a rematch.
Is that a possible hint?
Possible. Who knows? You would think he would want to demand a rematch, since he wasn't really fairly beaten. Alright, so now we're on to week 2. So it's 16th of April now, 1 week later. Ric Flair's now been champion for 8 days. What the hell was that?
No idea.
We have Big John Studd, large Jonathan Studdington here against Brutus the Barber Beefcake. And slamming his arse into Brutus.
What a move.
And Brutus ended up bleeding from that.
Oh.
But somehow he was still managed to fight on. Still what? Oh, that was... English good there. It's not my native language or anything. A swinging neck breaker and Brutus he was done for there. It was a fairly dominant match. Over in 2 minutes and 13 seconds. So, large Jonathan Studdington joins a few people. Michael Hayes, that's the one. And Ric Flair in Group B. So there'll be some interesting matches for those two. Against Big John Studd. Bloody hell. What did I say? Something... No, he managed... No. I don't know what I said. Alright, match 2 now. Hopefully I can speak a bit better. So this is a qualifier for Group A. And it's the Big Boss Man against Road Warrior Animal. And Big Boss Man straight on the offence there. The large in charge man.
He is quite tall.
Oh, he was a big boy. A big Georgia boy. I remember when I was watching as a youngster. I saw Big Boss Man in the late 90s in the Attitude Era when he would win the Hardcore Championship. He was in that kind of scene. And I remember him from when he was dressed like this, when he was in a feud with Hulk Hogan. Because I had some videos from the early 90s. And he was in a cage match with Hulk Hogan and he got handcuffed to the cage. You can guess who won the feud in the end.
Yeah, I can guess.
But yeah, I remember JR always really sold Big Boss Man as being this big, tough Georgian. So I really bought it. I really liked him. Yeah, Animal's bleeding, apparently. I didn't even notice. I think the Big Boss Man's finishing move that he did there is called the Boss Man Slam or the Big Boss Slam, something like that.
Okay.
Really good. Yeah, he gets the win there, so he's into Group A. So we're on to match 3 now, and it's another Tag League qualifier. So this will be to become the first team in Group B, and this is quite a big match, really. Triple H and Shawn Michaels, D-Generation X, although neither of them are in their DX clothes. They're against Roddy Piper, Roddy Piper, and The Rock. Not really a tag team, they were just kind of thrown together.
Okay, yeah.
So everybody had to take part in this tag qualifying thing. So some teams really are just 2 people who were thrown together. And Shawn Michaels in his clothes there that he wore when he was part of the Rockers with Marty Jannetty.
Okay.
But The Rock, you can see he's not even in his regular ring clothes.
No.
So he's really not taking this too seriously. And Shawn Michaels just completely no-sold that there. Just sort of grabbed his balls a bit when he got hit, but then... Yeah. But then, yeah, really well done me. But again, tag team match. They're doing the Doomsday device. That's not their move. That's what the Legion of Doom do. Does. Well, anyway, they won. It would be nice if I bloody speak sometime. Not just have some nonsense come out of my mouth.
I know the feeling when you're just so excited and you're trying to say everything what comes to your mind.
Yeah. Yeah, suck it, yeah. I was just saying to you earlier how I didn't really get that when I was a kid. I didn't know what they were actually saying when they said suck it. I was just so innocent. Yeah, suck it, yeah. Shawn Michaels really going for it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So we're on to match number 4 now. It's another qualifier. So 1 week after his loss in the Tag League qualifier, Mr. Perfect has a chance to go for the Wrestling League, and he's against the legendary Dusty Rhodes. You know Cody Rhodes, because I've shown you a few things with him.
Yeah.
That's his daddy. Dusty Rhodes, baby. So this was quite an even match, and it went on for a while. Mr. Perfect, you can see, has the upper hand here.
Yeah. Yes.
Dusty just wasn't giving in. So he had to roll him up with a small package.
Yeah.
And he caught Dusty Rhodes out. So he managed to get the win, managed to get the sort of some retribution for his loss last week. So he will be in Group B. He'll join Big John Studd and others. So yeah, Mr. Perfect, some wrestlers have said, working with him was like having a night off. That's how smooth he was in the ring.
Yeah, I really imagine that there are a lot of that kind of colleagues of the wrestlers who are just so nice.
He was just so safe to work with. Very safe pair of hands. And a great technical wrestler as well. Alright, so it's the main event of week 2 now, and the last for this video. And oh yeah, so we have 3 entrances to get through here. It's a triple threat match, so we have a bit of time to have a discussion now. Alright. So, what have we forgotten to mention from earlier? I think we got pretty much everything. Oh yeah, I need to remember to say the match times, because I keep forgetting. So I have to then type them in on that.
I don't even know if there would have been enough time to say them.
Probably not, no. I've really had to cut them down to fit this into a reasonably length. A reasonable length. No, English. It's my native language, I should know this. Can you help me?
I would just say reasonable length, yeah. I think that, people know what you mean.
Probably, yeah. Oh, apparently I was signed out of PSN at that point.
Oh, yeah.
Never mind. So here comes the Ultimate Warrior. And this is basically what it looks like if you take a lot of steroids and cocaine.
Yeah, that would be pretty much, yeah. Describing perfect, especially with that hair and...
I'm sure it was, I don't know if it was Jim Cornette who actually said it to him or whether he just told the story, but he said that, I don't know if it was him or somebody else, told Ultimate Warrior, if you get any bigger, you're going to burst.
Really?
Yeah. Because he was like just massive. You could tell why Vince McMahon liked him.
Yeah, true. He likes his boys big and fit.
He likes his big sweaty men, as they say. So here comes your favourite again. At least favourite theme tune. And he's putting his $1 million championship up here. Giving these two a chance to win it. Only, 2 of the most successful wrestlers in WWE history. Against Ted DiBiase, one of the most underrated wrestlers. Another one.
The
problem with this game is there are too many underrated wrestlers in it. So
it's still good that they put them in the game.
No, I know, but I just sound like an idiot when I'm saying he's one of the most underrated ever, and then there's another 5 of them in the same video. So yeah, the $1 million championship, I'm not sure how much it was actually defended in real life, because it was just, his gimmicky belt, but I decided to make it just another one to go for.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
The only people I can think of that held it were him, obviously, Stone Cold Steve Austin when he was called the Ringmaster, and he was one of Ted DiBiase's boys.
Okay.
And Ted DiBiase's son, who has the same name, with Junior on the end. So yeah, Ted DiBiase went outside the ring, being quite a clever boy and letting these two do all the work, and did it again there after a couple of attacks.
Wonder which one you played.
Later on, he pulled Ultimate Warrior out of the ring. You can't tell.
Yeah. No.
And that gave him some time with Hulk Hogan alone, but he didn't really capitalise, and Hulk Hogan got the better of him for a bit there.
Oof, yeah.
So, later on here, little stamp to the head and Hulk's bleeding.
Yeah, I'm
so much
surprised.
blood in this video.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oof.
Oh.
Hogan managed to get the better of him that time, but... Seems like Hogan's taken the most punishment, but Ultimate Warrior thrown through the table there by Ted. Quite an opportunist. Opportunist in this match, and then Hogan was just spent by this point. He'd been destroyed by them both. And Ted DiBiase capitalised on some good opportunities and managed to keep his belt.
Yeah.
So on the records, he looks good, because he beat two of the best wrestlers to keep his belt.
He really had the perfect opportunity.
But realistically, he didn't really do a lot in the match.
No, he just
made Hogan bleed and put Warrior through the table. And the most important thing, he got the win.
Yeah.
So,
well, win is a win.
Yeah. So it was about 4.5 minutes, I think. 4 minutes 42. Anyway, yeah. So let's try and wrap this up a bit quicker than last time. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for being here, offering your wise insight again, your vast wrestling knowledge, as I said last time.
You're welcome. Yeah, my
like
knowledge is so vast.
You're like an encyclopedia of wrestling.
Yeah.
So join us next week when we will have, I think, 2 more weeks of this primetime wrestling thing. More matches.